Hello, Roy.RealEstate with Coldwell Banker Legacy in San Angelo. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about inflation and home prices. Well, hear the words inflation, hear it on the news, what the inflation rate is and all these things, but it's hard to understand. It's hard to get a picture on it. So came up an example I think will help you kind of get a view of it and then maybe start to understand some of the root causes. So just how it's applied in my life. I bought my first home in 1991 before my oldest daughter was born. Brand new home in San Angelo, a little under 1,500 square foot, 3.2, paid about $55,000 for it. That home today is on the tax rolls in San Angelo for a little over $200,000. So it's gone up about 4 times in value just in those 34 years. So what does this look like in the real world? So picture a gallon of milk. So you're the guy selling milk and you decide, yeah, times are a little tight this month. I need to figure out a way to make some extra money. So I add 1 cc of water to that gallon of milk. Now there's no one that can taste the difference between 100% milk and milk with 1 cc of water. So he gets a little bit of a bump in income. And so he does that, goes on a little while and needs a little bit more income. Things are a little tight. So now he's adding 2 cc's of water and keeps going down the road, adding 3 cc's of water, adding 4 cc's of water. And over a period of time, that milk changes from being almost all milk to largely water. Now, if you had competition in this, somebody would notice it. If you had brand A on the grocery store shelf that's 100% milk and brand B on the grocery store shelf that's half milk and half water, you would compare those and you'd realize this isn't a good deal. But if you were protected, if that farmer was protected from that by being the only person selling milk and you had no way to compare it, then you wouldn't have any way to know. So that's sort of what has happened with inflation. In 1913, up until 1913, the price of gold, the price of the dollar was directly related to gold. So there was a $50 gold piece and that was worth $50 in 1913 when it was all connected. But in 1913, with the creation of the Federal Reserve, it was decoupled. So the price of gold and the price of dollars didn't have any correlation. So what's happened is over time, just like that farmer adding water to the milk, people have added fake dollars to the dollar over the years. So when you put a number on this, and that's where it really gets amazing how big of an issue it is you look at that ounce of gold that was worth $50 in 1913. Well, that ounce of gold today is over $3,700, $3,700. So how to look at that, and the reason I use cc's in my example is because there are approximately 3,785 cc's of milk in a gallon. So it's like your gallon of milk that you're buying today has 50 cc's of milk and it has 3,700 cc's of water. So you're getting a product today that is not the same. Your dollar today has $50 in it. It's 50 parts dollars, but 3,800 parts or 3,700 parts imaginary money. It's just the Federal Reserve is continually diluted by adding more and more money to the money supply to the point where stuff does not go up in value. So the things you got to ask is then who benefits from this? Well, the Federal Reserve benefits first because they're loaning the money out. And then it trickles down to certain businesses and stuff like that. And the people that get hardest hit then are on the lower end of the spectrum. And so that's when you look at inflation, just think of it like that, as someone is watering down our money supply and has been doing so since 1913. And that is the reason that home prices are escalating. And part of the reason this makes it hard for people to afford homes is because of all that inflation. That's not the total thing. The thing is that the wage rates for the people buying the houses haven't kept up with inflation over that 112-year period. So that's really where it comes to bite you. So if wages went from $50 to $3,800, it wouldn't be a big deal if houses went from $50 to $3,800, but that's not what happened. Houses went from $50 to $3,800 and wages went from $50 to $2,500 or something like that. So wages have not kept up with the price of inflation. So that's what kind of crunches the younger people, the people at lower income levels as they're trying to buy houses. And a lot of the fixes we talk about today are just basically to make houses cheaper, to make them smaller, things like that, on less land. And they do. They help in a way to get the prices down, but they're not solving the root problem, is that the Federal Reserve is diluting the money supply, creating the inflation that you hear them all talk about. And just from a political point of view, this is not a Democrat or Republican thing. This has been going on with every administration since 1913, which coincidentally is also the year that the income tax was instituted. So this has been going on with every administration, semi-autonomous, as they'll say, with the Federal Reserve from politics, but it has been going on consistently and has accelerated in the last couple of decades. So that's the reason that home prices are escalating as fast as they are, and wages are not keeping up. So that's one of the reasons that homes are getting more and more out of reach for the younger and lower income type buyers. So any questions, check me out, Roy.RealEstate, 325-268-0775. Thanks.